Was good, yeah. It's time to talk about the best part of Gear 8.4, which is obviously the loot. So, who cares about how hard it is? Who cares about what it takes? It's all about what does it give us. And this is 130 runs. It took me around seven runs to finish stage 6. So we're still sitting at around 5 or 6 keys if I decide to maybe make a tutorial about one of the stages. I'm not quite certain, but we basically spent the majority of our resources. So let's go through them one by one. And we might as well start with the exciting stuff, then just get through the mediocre stuff really quick. Alright, unidentified bangle. An unidentified bangle unearthed from the dungeon, which can be transformed into variant gear with the special effect. So, number 1, it's a bangle. Number 2, it is a blue set effect. Number 3, it is going to have a special effect. That's all we know for now. Then Ancient Guardian Ring. So something that's very special about this piece of gear is before Gear Dungeon, you weren't able to get Ancient Guardian Rings. They just don't exist. So now starting with this dungeon, we will have the ability to get an Ancient Guardian Ring, maybe also something like an Ancient Hawkeye set, which also didn't exist before, but I rather doubt it because Hawkeye set is kind of useless. And then lastly, we have Ancient Invigoration Amulet with healing effect, attack speed, rage region, attack percent. So overall, good piece for a healer, but in general quite useless, and just goes to show that I mean, not useless, but it doesn't really help you progression-wise, so it just goes to show that even though it's Gear 8.4, not everything is going to be cream of the crop. And then right here, we're just going to go through the pieces quite quickly, especially because sorting something like this is rather simple. And everything that doesn't have a specific set of stats is just going to get yeeted anyway. Tank gear, I might as well stack up on some tank gear, because I did find out I was rather lacking when it comes to tank gear. Right here we have at least a good piece for a health-based defender. And one theory I have, which we're going to figure out together, is can you actually ascend this set with healing effect into the new healing effect set, and can you ascend Annihilating Might into the new Annihilating Might set, or like evolved set, you know? That's what we're gonna find out. So for the moment, we just have a Guardian Bangle with defense percent and HP percent. And then just the rest, we're just looking for HP percent with defense percent or defense percent with HP percent. Which is going, honestly, so far quite well. We were able to get 2 rings, single bangle, sadly no amulet. But honestly, that's not too bad. And here we're just going to just look for top tier pieces. And what you can also kind of see is you do get a lot of that standard gear, I guess you could call it, or not standard, special gear. So for example, we have a lot of Guardian set, we have a lot of Mana String set. So that's rather interesting. Right here we have attack percent, attack flat. If we had rage region instead of crit damage, this would have been the perfect constants piece, but we can just keep it for the sake of it. We just quickly sort through the rest, trying to pick out anything that's going to be super useful. And also one interesting thing about this whole game mode is there's no extra drops through the premium card. So you can't actually buy yourself an advantage by getting more drops, which honestly at the end of the day is quite fair. It just makes the 150 runs everyone gets completely equal, which honestly is something really, really nice. So right here we should then get into the 19 gear, I guess, and let's just look through the gear a bit. Nothing special, nothing too big. Some invigoration, you love to see it. Some Sorbonne Arcana. Nothing too crazy. And then just to prove my point, there's no additional rewards. And we'll have a look at all the total other resources we were able to get. We'll just check that we're not selling anything crazy. Oh, I got shocked for a moment. You legit can't sell this piece. Whew. Shock. Crazy. Alright. Now, before we get into like identifying the stuff, rolling the gear, seeing how much we got out of this first week, we obviously need to take a look at the dungeon shop, because you can get a certain resource called dungeon crystals, and through clearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one time, clearing stage 6 around 132 times, we managed to get a total of 5,953, which gives us the chance to buy an unidentified banger, which is special gear from the 19 plus sets. And honestly, that's a deal I'm gonna take. We bought ourselves an unidentified banger, and now are kind of flat out broke when it comes to resources, so we can't even... So we're going to be able to afford a random ancient mythic gear chest. So, yeah, that's quite good, I guess, but sadly nothing unidentified or particularly crazy. Alright, so then obviously before we get into the whole figuring out what exactly we got, we still need to obviously craft. Before we craft, let's see if my ascension theory, whatever, is true or not. For that we need to... No, it's most likely not true. So you can't actually ascend into Wicked Vengeance and Light's Grace, or we would have the option right here. Because I know that I have leveled Calamity gear and other leveled gear. But we can check it through the recast option. Right here you can see we have a 16 weapon that should be up levelable. So it's not ascendable, and the only way to get it is going to be through crafting. Alright, so crafting resource wise, it costs 20 for 1 forge, 200 for 2 forges, and through playing all the way up to stage 6 we got 360 of left side material and 220 of the right side material, making the right side material slightly more rare, which gives us a total of 10, 16 and a bit more crafts here, around like 11. So let's just craft some gear, see what we get. I don't even know. Can you get ancients? How does it look? I don't know. So we're crafting stuff then. Ooh. Honestly, this gear looks fire, right? Like you can kind of see the substats below. So I'm guessing this is HP percent, healing effect, defense percent, attack percent, which makes this piece shit. But it looks absolutely crazy. Like it's a bow. It's just something else. But obviously Light's Grace, but it's a bow. That's crazy. All right, let's see if there's anything useful. Any combination that's particularly nice. We have some attack percent and crit rate, so we might as well lock that one. And honestly, I think for the rest, there's nothing too special. Some attack speed with HP flat, unfortunate. And right here, if we ever get a defense-based healer, we have the gear to go alongside it. So, where's my defense-based healers at? For the rest, honestly, I'm just gonna keep the pieces, because why not? I'm just gonna keep the pieces. No need to just throw them away. Yeah, for the moment, we just keep the pieces. Light's Grace, defense, attack, something. I wonder if there's the chance to even craft an ancient. So that's also rather standard. Nothing where it would be like, oh wow, we actually got a good piece, right? Especially if you can't get it in ancient form, then it kind of limits the stats, with you not being able to get attack speed on a chest piece, crit damage on a weapon, rage regen as a stat in general. So far we didn't actually get anything useful, which begs the question, how often can we play? How often can we actually play this gear dungeon? If it's like twice a month, and honestly, who knows? Maybe you really just gotta get lucky. But we used 360. Now maybe we get some surprises from left side gear, because left side gear has all the potential. All right, so first off, designs are sick. I don't think we even got all 3 sets, and the designs are sick. Like the ones that make the designs, mwah, good job. But for the rest, do we get anything useful? Probably not. What is this set? When the ultimate is triggered, no. So a lot of flat stats. some attack speed, which is also rather useless, and we didn't actually get a percentage based stat on the actual defense set. So honestly, nothing too special. Maybe we get lucky. What the hell? It even has a thumbs up, but it's it's the defender set with 10% critical damage range region. So unfortunate. Now, obviously, onto the final part, the most interesting, the one we've all been waiting for, really. There's two questions I have. Number one, what the fuck are we going to get? And number two, can we actually ascend it, which we are going to try through the ascend tab right after. All right, so we have 3 pieces to identify. Now you might be wondering why 3. If you have watched the video, the first time I actually was able to clear stage 6, I actually got this weapon. So we have 3 pieces, 2 18 and below sets, and then a 19 plus set. Let's start with the designs. Honestly, it looks sick. This design looks sick. But let's have a look at the loot. Come on. And variant Annihilating Might weapon. An Annihilating Might weapon with attack percent, attack speed, and rage region. So yeah. But no crit rate or crit damage. But giving us additional 300 attack through aggression. So the only reasonable character I can see this piece on is probably going to be Setram. Because Setram can run low crit anyway, and we don't really need the crit damage. But I think that's just unfortunately rolled. What is the other piece? Oh, variant Night Terror. Oh, you can also kind of see that the variant gear looks different. So we have crit rate main stat. Unfortunate. Attack percent, crit damage, and attack speed. And then Bloodthirst, giving an additional 20 attack speed. Is what it is, isn't the greatest. On to the last piece. Ooh, that is also that. So, we have crit damage, main stat, absolutely useless for a tank piece, crit rate, substat, rage region and attack flat, and also HP percent. As well as this on a defender piece. Okay, so it is technically useful, but it gives defense. No, even on an HP based defender that is supposed to do attack, we're just lacking that defense percent substat instead of HP percent. And set effect wise is whatever. And then we have Benediction. When HP is above 50%, increases the healing effect by 8. Which also doesn't work for a tank, because tanks don't get more healing if they have higher healing effect. So, unfortunate rolls. We've tried. And we found out that variant gear can be of the new sets. Now, can we ascend variant gear? The answer is no. You cannot ascend variant gear, which is obviously the best proof being variant. That's not true. It's not on 16. You can ascend variant gear, so that is good to know. That is good to know. Now we have an Aegis Rev set. Honestly, this piece is decent. At the end of the day, this piece is actually decent. And also, even the Aegis Wrath variant looks different. And they really went out of their way to make this gear look crazy. Honestly, reward-wise, they probably need to work on it. So they need to kind of implement the same mechanics we have for normal Mythic gear, where they kind of need to make sure that we just don't get crap that doesn't work. For example, a tag piece that has healing effect as a effect set, which is kind of useless, or a defender set which gets crit damage as a main set also ain't the greatest in most cases. So yeah, that's been it. That's been the loot out of 100, basically 150 runs, with the last 6 not really impacting it too much. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, which also kind of already brings us to a close when it comes to this whole Gear Raid 4 Gear Dungeon series. And on that note, obviously, if you want to leave a like, subscribe, whatever you decide to do. And I hope we get this content in the future. Preferably some better odds, better gear, maybe even better rewards, easier difficulty, whatever. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did, and we see each other in the next one.